Hi everyone! Whether you're a law student or maybe you've already been practicing for a year or two, sometimes you're curious about practice areas. Maybe you enjoy what you do, but you're still a little unsure if this is it. And you want to go through the process of learning more about different practice areas to see if it's a good fit for you. My recommendation is in every practice area that you're potentially interested, identify at least 5 attorneys and then go interview them, speak to them to find out maybe there are some commonalities, some patterns that you can identify in different practice areas. And then you take what you found out and run it through who you are. What are your preferences? Are you a person that really likes predictability, or do you prefer shorter matters and deals compared to things that might take 2 or 3 years to resolve? So in today's video, I want to go over 5 categories in which you should think about questions and you should investigate these 5 categories with the different attorneys that you're going to speak with in every practice area that you may be potentially interested. Before we get to it, can you please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button? Also, if you have any questions about practice areas or other topics you would like us to address in our YouTube video, comment below. So here we go. First, skills and tasks. When you talk to the attorneys in different practice areas, you want to know what are the tasks that these guys have to do day after day. What are the skills that are super important in this practice area? And I will divide this into 2 different subcategories. One, legal tasks and skills. For example, in criminal law, you have to go to court often, and a lot of things get resolved through oral advocacy. So if you don't really enjoy writing a lot, hopefully you enjoy it somewhat because that's the #1 skill of lawyers. But if you don't want to do that too much, that might be a better practice area for you than others. Other practice areas might be more writing heavy, deposition heavy. Some will require you to go to trial. Others almost always settle before trial. The next subcategory under skills and tasks you should think about and you should investigate when you talk to these lawyers are business development. Is this the type of practice area where, like securities, where you typically will have one-off clients? Or is this something like maybe IP litigation, where when you at some point build a rapport with a client, it's likely that this client will have additional matters in that subject area for you? Are these the type of cases and practice areas where you typically get your clients through referrals from other attorneys? Or is this the type of practice area where if you network directly with the client, you might actually have more success in business development? For example, if you represent a lot of startups, it might make sense for your networking plan to go and hang out with that crowd. If you want to be a successful lawyer, you might want to consider what is required of you, both legally as far as tasks and skills that you have to bring to the table, but also from the business standpoint, what does this practice area require from you? Second category is investigate and consider the life cycle of cases or matters that arise in different practice areas. For example, generally, corporate matters have much shorter life cycles. They might take over your life for 2 or 3 months, they're fast and furious, and then they go away. So if you're the type of person who likes to, within a year or 2, get exposure to different clients and different matters, and if you end up on a matter that you don't like that much, you know that it will go away soon. You might want to gravitate towards practice areas that will enable you to do that. On the other hand, There are practice areas, especially in litigation, where unless the case settles, you might be looking at 2 or 3 years where you are becoming truly immersed in that case. And it might be a good fit for your personality. Maybe you like working with those clients over such a long period of time and build rapport and build a relationship with them. The third category, let's call it humans or people. As we are talking about these different categories, you will probably realize that, just the same way that self-selection works, different personalities gravitate towards each other and towards certain practice areas. So see if you can find a pattern among the type of attorneys that you see are within practice areas. Are these like super intellectuals? Are these individuals really extroverted? If you're making this decision within a firm, maybe you're a summer associate and you're working with different groups, I highly suggest that if you are torn between two practice areas, or maybe you slightly like practice area A better than B, but you love the people in group B, I would go with the people. Unless you were always dreaming of this practice area even before you went to law school and this is what you want to do, in my experience, choosing people always wins. Because if you like the people you work with, even maybe the not really fun tasks on a matter or staying late at night, it becomes meaningful because you want to do a good job for those people. Also, you can get invaluable mentorship from those individuals that you really admire within a practice area. Before we go to the fourth step, I hope you're getting some value from this video. If you are, do me a favor and hit the like button. The fourth category that you should investigate and think about, whether you're switching practice areas or thinking about it, or you are really a young law student deciding between areas, is the profitability and let's call it the market share of that practice area within the law firm. Not every practice area makes the same amount of money for the firm. So if you're super ambitious and if you want to make partner in the practice area, or you just are interested in at least considering that angle in your decision, you should research this in general. Certain practice areas as a whole just make more money, and others might be the more profitable ones at the specific firm that you're in. Who are the rainmakers? Who are the partners with the higher profit per partner? That maybe you will see that most of those partners with the higher profit per partner are in a specific practice area. And last but not least, is this practice area recession proof? Or is this something that goes up and down with the markets? Oil and gas tends to have cycles. In the 16 years I've practiced, I've seen it boom and bust. Other practice areas tends to get affected when that sector of the markets that practice area is involved with, for example, if the financial market takes a hit and you are representing a lot of banks, of course that is going to affect the practice area. Others have been more recession-proof. That does not mean they will never get affected. Maybe Congress enacts a new law that changes the landscape of your practice area. But speak to the chair or co-chair of the practice area you're interested in. Some of these attorneys, some of these partners have been doing the same thing for 20, 30 years. They've seen all the ups and downs, and they can tell you how the market affects that specific practice area. And remember, there is no such thing as a mistake. If you end up picking something because you thought that's who you are, but then in the process you find out, maybe I do like this, but that's not what I want to develop in my life. Maybe this is something that attracted to me because of certain personality traits, but that's no longer the wolf I want to feed. I want to, pivot towards something else. I have seen not just junior associates change practice areas and go from litigation to corporate or vice versa. I have seen attorneys after 20 years of experience in criminal law go to civil, from government go to private practice, go in-house. You can always recreate your career.